what I wanted was their backstory as to what happens to make them always be at each other's throat. And Lucy and blowing Sloan back out. That's what I wanted.
No more can be traded. My heart's a bit spaded. I'm not too prideful to up and leave. You've been all complacent. The tides have been changing. Love is just patience, and for you.
What's up, Bookish Bays? Welcome or welcome back to the channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you guys the 7 books I read in the month of September. Now, in September, I had an ambitious TBR because I was planning on reading all those books, but then I got COVID. Where I get COVID from, I do not know. I don't know how I came in contact with it. I'm usually extremely careful, and I don't know. I do not know, but I do know that they was telling me that it was the light version of the first go round, and baby, if that was light, my heart goes out to everyone who had it the first go round because I felt like crap. I could not keep my eyes open for more than 10 minutes at a time. My body hurt. Everything was out of whack. And I honestly did not know what to do with myself. Now, do I remember what order I read these books in before I got... Now, all these books was read before I got COVID, which was kind of crazy because I started the month off so good. It's like I was reading a book a day. I ended up finding out I had COVID on the 6th, and I was reading. I was doing so good. I'm not even gonna hold you. I was doing so good, and I was so proud of myself. I was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get through my whole TBR." I had videos planned out for you guys and everything, and I was in the middle of shooting a 24-hour readathon, which you're still gonna get. I just didn't end it. You're still gonna get that video in October. So, well, this month you're gonna get that video. But I was filming that video, and in the midst of that video, it's just like, I think on one clip I said, like, why am I so pale? I was pale. Like, my face complexion, it's just like it was drained of color. I was super, like, you can see that I was getting lethargic throughout the video. Like, I was just sitting there talking to you guys. My eyes was closing, and I was just like, I don't know what's going on. And I think after that part of the video, I was like, let me go to the hospital because something don't seem right. Like, something is not right. Like, it just wasn't hitting I know me, and I know when I'm sick. I know when something ain't right. So I was like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the hospital because something is not right now. And I was like, I'm not usually in pain. I'm not usually in a constant pain. So something's not right. I get to the hospital. They test me for everything. And, well, they test me for strep, COVID, and I think they say it's a rhinoceros, some type of virus that started with R. And, yeah. So they test me for those 3 because I think they said that the one that was R it had everybody down bad. So they test me for all of that, and it came back. I was positive for COVID, and my potassium levels were super low. So they gave me medicine for my potassium level and COVID, and the first 2 days were the roughest. I couldn't work, of course, because I didn't want to infect my individual. If you don't know, I work in healthcare field, taking care of people with mental disabilities or disabilities in general. So I didn't want to get him sick. So of course, as soon as I found out, I called my job and let them know that I was COVID positive and I had to be off of work for 5 days. So the first 2 days were the roughest. And I just did not know what to do myself. I could not stay woke or nothing. But long story short, I'm better. I'm doing good. And here are the 7 books I read this month. Now, in what order, like I said, I don't know. So I just know that the first one that I'm gonna grab, I read last. I do know that. So the first book was one of my most anticipated read of the year, and I I gave it a 4.25. I was going into this book trying to get more of Lucien and Salone story and to see what happened. Now, throughout the book, before, like, I want to say, like, probably like 30% through the book, I guess why they had this grudge against each other. And I was like, if this is the reason why you've been mad at somebody for over a decade, you're going to piss me off. And I don't want to be pissed off. Don't piss me off. And they end up pissing me off because something so simple as to your safety and you mad at her. Like, it was giving weird. It just gave weird. I understand, like, yeah, I'm mad for probably like a month. You can get a good month of madness out of me for the reason that they was mad. But after we talk about it and discuss the issues, I'm over it. We friends again. We easing back into our friendship, but I feel like it was just so many storylines in this book. It was like that I didn't care about. I understand. What I wanted was their backstory as to what happens to make them always be at each other's throat. And Lucien blowing Sloane back out. That's what I wanted. What I got was her comparing her life to Knox and Naomi, Lena and Nash, Anthony Hugo, another character that comes up somewhere, Lena and Nash, Knox, like, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to see Lucien blowing Salone back out, and it was not giving it. So I gave this book a 4 star, a 4.25. So it's a good book. I did enjoy it, but it just didn't give me all that I wanted. So that's that on that. The next book I read was my very first Mariana Zapata book, and it was The Wall of Winnipeg and Me. I didn't know they was republishing her books through. I don't even want to say mainstream. Is it mainstream publishing? Is that what you call it? Mainstream publishing? I didn't know they was publishing her books through Avion. I think that's how you pronounce it. Let me adjust my lights because I feel like I'm just so washed out. Let's not do that again. So I gave this book a 4.75. I did not know how good this book is. Like, even though it was a slow burn, I'm not even going to like lie to you. It is a slow burn, but I was enjoying it all the way through. I don't know. It was just Boss and Secretary. He's a football player, and it was just so freaking good. Like, I just was not expecting it to be this good. So I see why. Well, I should have known because a lot of people usually talk about how good this book is, and it's like one of their favorite books of Mariana Zapata. And if I'm not mistaken, Our Roads Lead Here. I don't have that book. I have Coty and From Look Off with Love, which I haven't read yet. But everyone usually saying like this is their favorite book. They enjoy this book the most. So I gave this book a 4.75. I truly enjoyed it. Okay, after that, the next book I read was Tessa Bailey, Unfortunately Yours. Now this is the second book, and is it the name of the series? It's the Secretly Yours? I don't know if it has like a group name, but it's the second book in Tessa Bailey series is Secretly Yours, which is right here, but I'm pretty sure you guys can't see that. But it's Secretly Yours, and then this one. This one is about the sister of the brother in this book. I did not like the first book, but this one I truly enjoyed. You got half of her story just from an outside perspective. From the Secretly Yours, you didn't know what happened or why she was back in what was it called? Martha? No, it can't be Martha Venue. I don't know. It was just some kind of wine city. Don't remember. It gave the backstory. It gave her like outside, like you got an outside perspective of her story in the first book. In this book, she basically tell you why she was there and how she got there and what happened and how she's trying to prove herself. Now it is fake marriage. I think you would. That's how you would describe it. Marriage of convenience. It is a marriage of convenience, and the thing is, he loved her from the jump, and she was not really feeling him because he was trying to run a wine vineyard for his best friend in the name of his best friend, but his wine was trash, and she told him his wine was trash, and he just felt like he was a failure. But anyways, they end up getting married for a reason for each of them, so I'm not going to go too deep into it. Do I suggest you read the first one, then the second one? I say yes, just so you can get their first little meet for Austin and Natalie first little meet cute. You get their first meet cute in the first book, and then you can see how he met. Because I honestly forgot about how they met, so I'm not even gonna hold you. But read the first book if you want to. Now, the next book I read was a part of my newfound favorite series, and it is Killer Instinct by Jennifer Land Barnes. If you don't know, this is basically about like a criminal mind inspired book about natural prodigies who, well, would you say prodigies? Like, we're gonna say prodigies because I'm describing this book. Natural prodigies who have talents, and basically helping the FBI figure out who killed somebody, or basically, like I said, criminal mind inspired book. So you have a girl or two natural profilers. Then you have the character who can read emotions, and one who can tell lies, and one who's just good at stats and statistics and math. So my favorite character out of the book is Salome. I think that's her name. She's the one that's good with math because I really want to know her story. Like, what's her background? Because in the first two books, you get touches on all the other three characters, but her, you really don't know why she's there or how she ended up there and how she ended up with the abilities that she got. So I gave this book a 4.75. I truly love this series. I cannot wait to dive into the next book, which is All In. And yeah, I don't know when I'm going to read that. I might even try to squeeze it into a mood reading vlog this month. We don't know. We will see. So, it's that. The next book I read was King of Battle and Blood by Scarlett St. Clair. And this is basically about... Is it a Hades retelling it says? I don't remember. It's about... How do you pronounce her name? I don't know how to pronounce her name, but they call her Izzy. Izzy and Adrian. Adrian is a vampire who is basically trying to take over like the 7 or 9, I don't remember how many villages or communities or whatever the world building name is for this. But in order for her dad was like, well, we're not gonna fight a vampire. We're just going to submit to them and grant them our kingdom, but I can still rule it. But he higher lord basically. And on the day that they meet to discuss this, the guy was like, in order for me to agree with this, I want to marry your daughter. And the king was like, oh, no, we're not doing that. We're going to go to war. I'm going to war by my child. As he should. As you freaking should. But maybe next time, choose someone that you can truly beat, because he's a vampire and you're human. We're just going to leave that there. I gave this book a 4.25. I enjoyed this book. I need to read the next book. I think it's called The Queen of Myth and Monsters. I need to read it. I've heard a lot of good things about this book, so that would make me actually pick it up to read. So once I read that, I am in love with this book, and I cannot wait to dive into the next one. So that's a lot. The next book is, I read this book while I was sitting in the hospital waiting to get checked for COVID. So I'm not even gonna lie to you. I cannot even tell you what this book is about. It's about Lauren and Ryan. Okay. It's about this girl and her husband. They got married, I want to say, right out of college. And they're at this point in their marriage where they can't stand each other. Like, they're arguing and fighting and doing all this toxic stuff in a relationship. And they come to the conclusion, like, hey, let's just take a year break away from each other to see if we can, rekindle our bond and our love that we had for each other. So they end up taking a year off with no communication. And I like this book. I gave it a 4 star or four. I don't know. I want to say like a 3.75 to a 4. So I'm gonna lean more on the 4 star because I mean 3.75 is automatically kind of like a 4. So I gave this book a 4 star. I really enjoyed it. Now the only thing I hate about Taylor Jenkins Reid is she write in third person. Aggravates the crap out of me. But I did enjoy this book. So if you haven't read this one, you need to read it. It's really good. I think I have a few more books of hers that I need to read. I haven't read Forever Interrupted, and I think she have another book that I haven't read, but I also don't own. So now the next book and the last book that I read this month was none other than The Only One Left by Riley Sager. Now you know it. If you know me, you know that I am absolutely obsessed with The House Across the Lake by Riley Sager. And this kind of gave me the House Across the Lake vibes because it's basically about this house that sit on top of this um mountain, if you would say, and it's on the verge of falling off. Period. That's what I want you to know. It's on the verge of falling off. So it's about this girl who was accused of killing her entire family because she ended up being the only one left, and everyone in the town thought she did it, although she kept telling them like, I didn't do this, it wasn't me. The way this book ended, I was shook. I'm not even gonna hold you. Like, I was so shook because it was just like plot twist after plot twist after plot twist after plot twist. Like, I I went in thinking something totally different from what it was. Now, mind you, I didn't even mention to you that the lady that is accused of it, she's up in age now where she can't speak or do for herself. The only thing she can move is her left arm. That's it. She can only move her left arm. But y'all, this book is so, like, me thinking about this book made me want to reread this book. It just, I just really and truly enjoyed this book so freaking much because like I said, I wasn't even expecting. Like, I thought it was somebody else. I'm not even gonna lie to you. When we was introduced to some of the characters in the book, I thought it was somebody else. I'm not even gonna hold you. I thought it was a whole another character in the book. But when you find out who it was and the backstory to it and how everything is kind of mixed and matched, the girl, I had this book a 4.75. Oh, it is so freaking good. If you have not read The House Across the Lake or The Only One Left by Riley Sager, please do yourself a favor and add it to your October TBR because in October I feel like it's giving more thriller vibes. So add it to your October TBR, read it, enjoy it, let me know down below what your thoughts are. But those are all the books that I read in the month of September. I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.
I'm calling bullshit. Say you got it, but you ain't got nothing. Bad bitches don't say shit, they just hug.